All right, everyone, it's Alyssa Corum and Ken Shreve here. Welcome to Stock Market Today. It was a pretty strong day across the board. Ken, what stocks are we going to be taking a look at today?
Well, we're going to take a look at two stocks in the Dow, American Express and Walmart, and we'll also take a look at a nice bullish breakout in the security software group.
That we will. But first, let's check in on the major indexes today. We're taking a look at the Dow here, which outperformed up 1.6% for the day, while the S&P 500 gained 1.2%. The Nasdaq up 0.8% for the day. So moving again here, Ken, on positive coronavirus vaccine news, this time from Moderna. So those value stocks that really had been lagging so far this year, really in the spotlight today and last week as well.
Yeah, we've kind of seen that theme ever since Pfizer reported their vaccine data exactly 1 week ago. We're seeing the oil and gas stocks, the financial stocks, the airline stocks outperforming. So you didn't see a broad-based rally in growth stocks today, although we did get a pretty good close for the market. The Dow almost finished up 500 points, and small caps outperformed again. So you look at the daily chart of the Dow here. I mean, the blue chip index does appear to have its sights set on that 30,000 level, and you look at the weekly chart for the Dow. It looked like it had a pretty nice accumulation week last week, where it jumped in higher volume. So this is still an index that could break out over the 30,000 level. So still reasons to be encouraged about this uptrend. It's not the best environment for growth investors right now, as money rotates out into these economic recovery stocks. But overall, the market still looks pretty good.
All right. Well, speaking of recovery stocks, let's check in on American Express, AXP, a big gap up last week, and it's been able to hold those gains, tacked on another 3.2% in today's session.
Yeah, so people, getting emails. Well, if growth stocks are out of favor for a little while, I mean, what are some good, blue chip names to get into? And I really like the look of American Express technically here. You can see when it gapped up last week, that was exactly 1 week ago when Pfizer came out with their vaccine news, and a company with a similar drug technology, Moderna, this M messenger RNA technology, they also came out with positive data. So I really like the way American Express handled last week's gap up in price, and to me, this stock absolutely looks actionable right here.
Yeah, out of this long consolidation. And what also is impressive to me is even though it did undercut that gap up day in intraday trade, it was able to close above that level. So some nice strength there. Let's also take a look at Palo Alto Networks, ticker PANW, Ken, in the security software group. A really nice breakout here today, up almost 8%, heavy volume, and a breakout that is coming from a double bottom pattern, one that we're seeing for a number of stocks out there right now.
Yeah, this was a nice earnings report. You can see earnings and sales accelerated nicely from the prior quarter. And you can see this is a company, when you talk about leadership in the security software group. We talk a lot about Zscaler and CrowdStrike, and a lot of these former leaders. And Palo Alto has just been kind of moving sideways. In fact, we can switch over to the weekly chart for Palo Alto. You can see why its relative strength rating is 51. It's just kind of been a sideways mover. Really hasn't been showing relative strength in its industry group. But I think this latest earnings report was a game changer. Big buyers in the stock today, and give credit where credit is due for a very strong earnings report.
That's right. Okay, so how would you handle this one now? Because technically it is out of that 5% buy area. Traders looking at this today, intraday chart, a favorable strategy to try to initiate a position here.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit past that 5% buy zone from the 260.25 buy point. You can see it's still closed, pretty close to the left side high of this base as well. So still think this is fine for just a little starter position, and then what you hope for from here is that we've seen so many stocks holding gains nicely after gaps up in price. We just looked at American Express. There's a whole bunch of them. So if Palo Alto can do a good job, trade tightly, hold near highs, you could look for another entry point. But even though it's extended from that 260.25 double bottom entry, again, the weekly chart still shows it's in the early stages of breaking out of that longer over the left side high of that base. So still looks okay.
Very good point there, Ken. All right. And last but not least, checking in on Walmart WMT, also breaking out a gain of about 1.4% today. But we do have earnings tomorrow. So, what would be the strategy for playing this one?
Well, this is always a reasonably priced earnings option trade. So we talked about this one in the earnings preview column over the weekend. It was about a 3% trade, but they do report before the open. There's a lot of good stuff going on at Walmart. In February they launched their Walmart Plus membership rewards program. Apparently, I think it was BMO Capital Markets today came out with a note that said they're signing up a bunch of people. Walmart just recently got into the pet services business as well, tapping into a booming market. So this is a mega cap stock that really has done a great job pivoting. They're investing heavily in e-commerce to compete with Amazon. So this is just technically a pretty good looking stock, and I think the market is anticipating pretty good numbers tomorrow. We're also going to hear from Target on Wednesday, so kind of a big week for retail earnings.
Yeah, and for those who did play this rebound after the pullback there, sitting on some nice gains to be able to hold this stock into earnings. But as you said, you mentioned the option play here, so make sure that you check out Ken's earnings preview column from this past week for more details on that. And you can be sure that we are going to keep a very close eye on this one tomorrow morning, everyone, on IBD Live, our daily morning live stream where our experts are sharing their screens, talking about actionable stocks, names that are moving on headlines, how you should handle your portfolio, shifting market conditions. There's always a ton to talk about.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll also hear from Home Depot in the morning, which, of course, today they announced a big acquisition, $8 billion acquisition of HD Supply, HDS. So, and then, like I said, Wednesday before the open, we're going to hear from Target, which to me looks just as good as Walmart here, showing relative strength, and TGT getting support at its 10-week moving average. So two of the top retailers. We'll see what they have to say on earnings.
Good stuff. Thanks for that, Ken. And thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.